Alright people, today we have a 2007 Pontiac G6 3500 engine. I'm not sure of the transmission size. It has 3 different transmissions, not sure. But this transmission does not have the dipstick. I repeat, it does not have the dipstick to check the transmission fluid level. So that's what transmission I'm servicing today. With 3-ton car jack, my impact, a ratchet, an extension. This is the ratchet. This is my extension. This is an adapter right here, and then this is an 8mm. All right, brake cleaner, the pry bar, paper towels. First step, you want to jack up the car, of course. On this particular vehicle, the emergency brake is right here in the middle by the console. So you can simply press the button, pull up, and now it is on. Okay, when lifting this vehicle, you want to lift on the pinch wheel. You also can see right there where it's been lifted up at. Pinch wheels, you know, I have mixed emotions about them, but that's where we lift at. You can see where it's been lifted up at right here. So, you know, it's not really damaging the car. It's the pinch wheel is just bending in over age from it being jacked up on. So that's where you want to jack it up at. Also, if you pay attention closely, if you see the triangle right here, that's telling you to lift the vehicle right there, right under the triangle, okay? You don't want to lift it on the black rubber. You want to lift it up on the metal where it's bent at, okay? I got a good old 3-ton car jack, all right? You want to twist the handle clockwise to tighten. Put it exactly where I said to put it, right there, and start to lift up. Okay? See that? Right there. Perfect. Then you start to jack the vehicle up from there. Now that we have the vehicle jacked up, we're about to go under the vehicle, remove the transmission pan. This particular transmission pan, you have to remove every single bolt to get the transmission pan out. The transmission is right here, L-shaped pan. That's the transmission pan. That is your oil pan. We are not tampering with the oil pan. We're only messing with the transmission pan, okay? To remove the transmission pan, you have to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the bolts around this perimeter. You have to remove these. And they look like 8mm. So what I'm about to do, I'm about to grab an 8mm socket and ratchet, and I'm about to loosen them up. And then from there, get a drain pan. And we're gonna drain the transmission fluid out and drop the pan down. So let's go. All right, so here you have it. I have my 8mm socket, extension, ratchet. Make it go counterclockwise, just like such. All right, now you ready to untighten. So you just pretty much want to crank these loose. You don't really want to take them all the way out just yet. You want to break them loose. They're not tight at all. They don't take high torque. You just want to go around the pan and unloosen each one of these. The people don't, oh, there we go, we got transmission fluid already coming out. As you can see, transmission fluid is leaking out already. But I don't know why these vehicles makers don't make, these automotive fucking companies don't just simply make the transmission pan like an oil pan with the fucking screw, like for an oil change. Wouldn't it make life so much easier if they did that? That'd be too much like right. So there you go, we got transmission fluid draining. I don't want to take the pan all the way off because that's when it gets very messy. So we just want to keep cranking these free. As you can see, we got trans fluid flowing. It's not red no more. It's actually kind of brown. Okay. So there we go. We got the transmission fluid drain. We're gonna let that drain until it slows down. Once it slows down, we're going to take the pan off a little more, lean the pan down, get all the fluid out the pan, and then we're going to take the pan completely off. We're going to clean the surfaces of the gasket, where the gasket will go, clean all the surfaces, and then we're going to remove the transmission filter and replace it. All right, we're still draining. You see my pan is getting more full. Shit down there looks like oil. I don't know if you all can see that shit, but shit down there looks like oil, man. Shit black as hell. Shit's supposed to be red, so it was time. See, we got transmission fluid slanging just from the wind alone. The wind is slanging some transmission fluid. So yeah, man, if you do this job, it is not a clean job. It is not as clean as an oil change. Sometimes oil changes can be messy, but they don't make it a clean job for us. They make it real fucking dirty. Now I have all bolts removed around the pan, as you can see. See, I have one bolt in there holding the pan up. All right. See, my jug of shit is almost full. See, my fucking drain pan is almost full with fluid. And it's actually slowing down. See, I got a slow drip. The drip is slowing down. It's not pouring out. So we're gonna let that drip for about 5 more minutes. And then we're gonna take the pan completely off. Like I said, I'm gonna have one screw holding it up. The rest of the screws are removed. All right. And there's my transmission fluid right there. Black as fuck. Looks like some fucking oil. So yeah, man, I'm about to go dump this shit out, and then I'm about to take the transmission pan off. All right, so now I have dumped the drain pan. Now I'm ready to remove that last screw. All right, here's my pry bar. Right there, little pry bar, nothing crazy. And I'm just gonna put it right in between the transmission pan and the gasket, and let's see what happens. All screws are out. Okay. You don't want to put too much force. You don't want to. There it is, right there. Pops right off. There it goes. Alright, so there you have it. The pan is down in my hand. Alright, we're going to inspect the transmission fluid for a metal shaving. If you have metal shavings in your transmission fluid, that is not a good sign. If you don't, then you're A-okay. Go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. My transmission filter is right here, this guy. And actually, I'm about to go ahead and just pull this out right now while I'm right here. As you can see, it kind of has slack in the back. So it connects right here. Let me show you this. All right, so here's the new transmission filter right out the box, right? Okay, so if you look at this right here, it sits in there just like such. Just like that. Sits just like that. So as you can see, this is the filter. This right here is where it connects in at, right there. So the only thing you have to do is pretty much apply pressure right around here and pull straight down. Just pull it down. Sometimes it can be a little, you don't want to break it. You don't want to take this filter and just grab down here and just pry it like this. You don't want to do that, because then you're going to break this into the transmission. So you want to kind of apply even pressure, even power right around this and pull straight down on it and it'll come out. So let's do that. Do that real quick. Doesn't take much. Sometimes it takes a little force, but not much. See that? There it is. And a fucking glump of fucking transmission fluid with it. Alright, so here we have it. Transmission pan is down. We're examining the transmission fluid. No metal shavings. None. So this transmission is very good shape. It just needs transmission fluid to change. I'm going to go ahead and clean all this transmission fluid out the bottom of this pan, and I'm about to clean the gasket surfaces. I'm about to take the gasket off before. Here's your gasket. Let me show you all. I'll take the gasket off. You just get a screwdriver or something and just wedge. Just wedge. And there it is. Comes right out. See that? That's my gasket. Alright. And that's pretty much it. Clean up all these surfaces, like see all the gunk and shit right here. Just wanna clean all that shit off. So we're about to clean it up real good. Clean up the surfaces of the transmission pan, and also clean up the surfaces of the transmission. See at the bottom, around the edge, like right here, right around there. Gonna clean it up. Also, when installing the transmission, whenever installing gaskets, period, you want to have everything as dry as possible. You don't want to go and try to connect this back up and you got transmission fluid sitting all in between the gasket. That's not good. Whenever you do any type of gasket on an engine, try to make sure the surfaces are smooth and clean, and make sure it is dry as possible. That way the gasket can seal as it should. I pretty much started cleaning out the pan as much as I could. You see the black shit around the edges. See all that black gunk and shit? You want to take you some nice rags, some brake cleaner, and you just want to go across that shit. See what I'm saying? See how I just went across that? See the black edge? You just want to take it south, go across all this shit. Clean as much of that shit off as you can. Alright, so now we're about to start the transmission filter. We already have the old one out. This is our new one. This is the piece right here, if you all can see. This piece right here goes on to right here. What happens is, can you all see that? This piece right here goes on to right here. What happens is sometimes, when you go to remove the old transmission filter, this piece stays stuck in the transmission. And my shit, it needs to fucking focus. It needs to fucking focus on what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, there we are. That's the piece right there. So that piece is sitting up in the transmission right now. I had a problem a long time ago with the Grand Prix. The piece wouldn't come out. So I pretty much just had to damage it to get it out. So to avoid that problem again, what I do is I just pretty much inspect the piece up there, make sure that it's okay. If it's okay, if it stays in, it stays in. I just slide the new one in. That's just what I do. I never had no problems doing that. I also just inspect, you know, I just look up in there, make sure it's okay. I already looked at this one and it is okay. So now I just take this and I simply just do that. It's that simple. Give it a good tap and there you go. Alright, with this part, you want to kind of be ready. What I like to do is I like to have my extension already in my hand. My 8mm already in my hand. That way when I go to put this pan up, I can start all my transmission pan bolts. Pretty much what I do is I hold the pan up with one hand, and then I just take my bolt and I just start it up. So I'm going to pretty much try to have it secure on all sides first, and then I'm just going to work all of them in, and I'm going to work them all up slowly but surely. I'm not going to put too much torque on one or the other. I'm going to try to work them up evenly by hand with my ratchet. Okay, do not use the impact. Please, people, do not use the impact with tightening these bolts. You can strip this shit. An impact will strip this shit. Please don't do that, or you'll be looking at a never-ending transmission fucking leak. Unless you know how to rethread a bolt hole. Alright. So like I said, pretty much just grab the transmission pan and pretty much just set it up in the place where it needs to be at. Always make sure your gasket stays seated where it should be at. Alright, so there you go. You simply just hold this up with one hand like I said. Just keep some pressure on it. Find your bolt hole. There we go. That's one right there. You just do it by hand, like I said, just by hand. Okay? And it's kind of already hanging up there. Somehow it's already hanging. You may not get this lucky every time. You always want to start your bolts and screws by hands. You always want to start it by hand. You don't ever want to take an impact, put the socket in the impact. Put the bolt in the socket of the impact, and then just run it up. You may end up stripping something. You may end up cross-threading something. So you don't ever want to take your impact and just try to zip. Shit like this, no impact, y'all. No impact, people. No impacts on gaskets. Alright people, so there you have it. Transmission pan is completely tightened up. Now the next step is to lower your vehicle, go back to the top of the vehicle and fill up the transmission. Let's do that next. Alright, so this is the transmission fluid we're using. Dexmerk ATF. Used for GM and Ford. We have a total of 6 quarts right here. I may need about a half more, so I'm gonna add the 6 quarts and then get another half and we should be fine. Alright, on the 2007 Pontiac G6 I'm working on, it does not have a dipstick to check the transmission fluid. The transmission fluid goes in that hole right there. So it's in between the engine and the transmission, right here. Pretty much below the coolant reservoir, okay? Right there, okay? I already have the screw, I already have the cap out of there, but the cap sits right there like such, okay? Right there, that's the cap. Okay. I have a long funnel. Alright. I have a long funnel that I'm going to stick down in there. Alright, and that's, now we're ready to add transmission fluid. Let's do it. Alright, now we're adding the transmission fluid to the transmission. As you can see, it's nice bright and red compared to what we got out of the transmission. It was black. Like I said, you should service your transmission every 50,000 miles. Alright, so now I have filled the transmission up with transmission fluid. So now we're going to put everything back how we found it. Put that back right there. I'll take a cap, simply just put it right there, screw it on down. Alright. Like I said, all data says 6.5 to 7 quarts. So I got 6 in. I'm gonna go get a half and then that's gonna be that. So now we're ready to start the vehicle. After you change transmission fluid, start the vehicle, let it idle for about 5 minutes, and then you want to run it through each gear. So just sit there with your foot on the brake, put it in park, drive, neutral, reverse. Drive the vehicle, make sure it shifts correctly, things of the sort. And then your job is done. Alright? You know, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. The engine light is on for a catalytic converter. Catalyst low efficiency, has nothing to do with the transmission. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We had 148,000 miles. And yeah, she shifts, she gets up out of there. Y'all see how fast I just did. Can't be ripping and running through the neighborhoods like that, but you know, she's doing what she's supposed to do, so I'm out all as well, y'all.